Hello, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Moving on to case number 4 now. So, without further ado, let's do this. Turnabout Reminiscence. Here we go. Kay Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. Seven years earlier.
Yeah, that's right, I did it. I killed the guy. But it was the great thief Yatagarasu who told me to do it.
I asked the defendant just what exactly you were trying to say.
Don't you get it? I know that identity of the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench.
Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu?
Don't you dare deny it. You told me to kill him when he snuck into the embassy.
They claim that Mr. Faraday is Yatagarasu.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Mr. Well, I think we've heard just about enough out of you.
Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You've got to believe me.
Guy looks like a young gumshoe. What's up with that? Okay.
In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready.
So Kay's dad was a prosecutor. Never seen this side of the court before. September 10th, 3:20 p.m., District Court, 3rd floor lobby. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. Edgeworth, it's gonna be Manfred?
Edgeworth.
Sir!
Have you read over all of the documents regarding this trial?
Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know.
Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always been mandated as your mentor. I, Manfred von Kammer, will accept nothing short of perfection.
I understand, sir. To have the chance to sit in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud.
As I have watched over your studies, I'm giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion.
Yes, sir. That such a legendary prosecutor will be watching and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. Alright. Are we actually going to do some courtroom prosecuting? Or is it going to be a bunch of impromptu fieldwork prosecution? A bulletin board. There are trial schedules posted on it. Trial scheduled for this week? Huh? There's only today's trial listed. This must be a mistake, or this country's judicial system is not working as it should.
This is so good. Gulp, gulp, gulp. I could drink a whole gallon.
I've never heard of water that tastes that good. Maybe I'll give him a minute.
Gulp, 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 gulp. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Does he plan on gulping an entire reservoir dry? Excuse me, madam, but is something the matter?
I just thought someone would have brought hors d'oeuvres by now.
But this is a courthouse. It would be quite atypical to provide hors d'oeuvres here.
Are you sure? Someone poured me a fresh cup of coffee last time I was here.
The heck does she think a courthouse is for? A model of the courthouse. Pretty well constructed. Hands on a face. Don't tell me this thing transforms. Yet, I wonder for what other purpose could they have been made? Aren't these great? Daddy made all of these.
Awesome, but didn't get fired right after you made him.
Yeah, I did. I spent the same amount of money on this model as it cost to build the real thing. My boss wasn't very happy with me.
Hey, Daddy, didn't you say you built a secret mechanism inside of it?
I'll tell you about it someday when you're older. Secret mechanism. Maybe installed it as a payback for getting fired. Could be trouble. Now I'm curious. Okay. Mr. Prosecutor, sir, you've got a good eye if you can tell that I'm a prosecutor with just one glance. As there are always only prosecutors and defense attorneys in this lobby, I usually hit the mark if I guess one or the other, while there is a recess. You were only guessing? Egad, what a cold stare he's giving me. However, as a disciple of Von Karma, there is no option but to win. He is good. The power of his cold stare rivals my own. He's sleeping while standing up. And with his eyes open. A luxurious and beautiful leather sofa. I must say, every part of this courthouse is meticulously well kept. Although, the positioning of the sofa puts one under the direct gaze of the judges. Every judge in this courthouse's history has had quite the beard. And has gallantly parted with their beloved head of hair, I see. Being a judge must be a very stressful career. The trial will resume shortly. Please wait a moment, sir. I was already well aware of that. Shortly, or in a moment. Which one is it? Be specific. A bookshelf, huh? Compendium of Laws for Beginners. I don't have the time to read this and second guess myself now. Is that the Thinker statue? I'm sure it's just a replica or something. Okay. This should lead to the defendant lobbies.
Edwards, where's your composure? If you wish to take a look at your enemy, do so in the courtroom as you crush him.
Indeed, thank you. You are a man of wisdom and experience, sir. The trial will resume shortly. Please wait a moment, sir. It's already well of that. Alright.
Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute.
Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct?
Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claims that the case prosecutor, Ben Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey.
Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Ben Faraday?
He's a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense.
Nonsense?
He first tried to explain to me how very punishing those who cannot be brought to court.
Those who cannot be brought to court? That is nonsense, for no man is above the law.
Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there's no reason to even deal with such individuals. Prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters.
Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals, I see.
Edwards, disgracing yourself as Faraday has, will not be forgiven.
Have no fear, I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused prosecutor Ben Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt.
Very good. I've secured an hour of research for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma.
It is thanks to you that I have finally become a prosecutor, sir.
It amuses as if I to become a defense attorney, yet became my student. Huh, this is a strange path you have traveled.
It's true that I had once wanted to become a defense attorney, but now I am honored and proud to be a prosecutor.
I see. Then as a student of mine, I suggest you remember this well. The prosecutor's badge is not to be flaunted. The dignity of a prosecutor lies in the man himself, not in the badge.
I understand. I will keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind.
Besides, why put holes in your fine garments? It's simply preposterous.
Prosecutors must also take pride in their appearance. I will keep this in mind as well.
I'm constantly having to remind the others as the prosecutor's office of this. It's more fashionable to keep your prosecutor's badge in your pocket.
In other words, always treat a prosecutor's badge with care and honor. I understand, sir.
So, have you achieved a firm understanding of the case?
Yes, sir. I have memorized everything that is written down in the case files.
Well then, explains the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you're talking about.
What? Is there something I'm supposed to study up on? Understood. Okay, here we go. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Kodopian Embassy. The victim, Mr. Dade Mann, was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackrell, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Kodopian embassy as well. At first, Rel claimed that he himself was Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Dead Man. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie.
It's possible that he wants to go down for the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity. But I digress. Continue, Edwards.
Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rel as the murderer.
The act of Mr. Rel firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery.
Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to by the real Yatagarasu, Ben Faraday.
That sounds about right. However, you forgot one thing. While this may appear to simply be as a murder of a Kodopian embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG8 incident.
The second KG8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough.
Well, even amongst the police, this information is only a select few are privy to.
Would you please enlighten me, sir? So, what do you mean by the second KG8 incident?
In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents.
This is a three-year-old newspaper.
You've heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct?
Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested under suspicion of smuggling.
Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court.
Wasn't a Kodopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder?
Yes, a Kodopian by the name of Manny Kowachin was a suspect. However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved.
Lack of evidence?
Ha! If only I was in charge of the case, I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt.
To make sure that all criminals are found guilty, my mentor really is dedicated.
Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever.
But Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG8 incident as well.
That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who is scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization.
And just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify.
You're catching on! The victim was murdered just before his day in court, against the smuggling organization. Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG8 incident.
So that's why it was being called the second KG8 incident.
Yes. Yet, there's one difference between the two incidents.
What would that be?
The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone to an uproar. The great thief, Yatagarasu.
Yatagarasu. I'd better find out more. If it is true that the Yatagarasu showed up at the Kadobian embassy, what could he or she been after?
No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely to steal secrets from the Kadobian embassy itself. Since the items that the Yatagarasu stole from there were sent to the police.
What was it that the Yatagarasu sent to the police?
I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say?
That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu has left evidence behind, correct?
Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday.
Mr. Faraday?
He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well.
He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG8 incident and the Yatagarasu case. Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate.
What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
You do need something.
I want to trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies, but looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want?
Thanks, that's exactly what I needed.
That child be here to watch the trial.
How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore?
Guess not. Paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is complete.
Why you? Do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I can have you mopping up this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant. Go!
It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me.
Proud one you are. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgepress.
Alright then. September 10th, 4 p.m., District Court, Corner number 3.
Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either?
Bailiff, where's Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. I was really paying attention.
Ah, you must be the one Mr. Volkama recommended. I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson...
Sir, looks like the trial is about to resume, however.
Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to?
It's an emergency, sirs. Oh.
Silence!
There should be no yelling in the sacred order of law. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once.
Please, wait! You have to listen to me. There's an emergency. Defendant lobby number 2, Mr. Faraday, and the defendant. The two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor. What? What?
Dun dun dun. I wonder who could have done it. September 10th, District Court hallway. Who's this? Stay back. No. Stay back. Sure. No one's allowed on the crime scene. Period. So who does this oddball think he is? This is becoming quite the hotspot. Isn't she Mr. Wells' defense attorney?
Hey you! No one in the hallway, pal!
And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. This sofa looks like it's seen its fair share of use. And it looks like another part of the courthouse is visible from the window.
My eyes are blocked with my reflection's eyes in the barred window. As a student of all karma, I refuse to back down.
I won. Okay. I thought you were gonna comment on the little poop trail, but guess not. First, I need to get a handle on the situation. Perhaps I should talk to some people. A fire extinguisher. If one were to be hit in the head with this, I suppose the victim would lose a memory or two. But it's not as though I'd be ever so foolish as to be struck by one of these. Not like someone else I know. A poster of the judge. There is a longer slogan of some sort on it in tiny letters at the bottom. Every strike of my gavel brings the truth closer to me and my hair farther away. Is this a promotional poster for the court or a hair growth product? Veteran lobby number 1 is through here. The incident took place in lobby number 2 next door. I shouldn't allow myself to be sidetracked like this. I better get a move on. A drink vending machine. Now is not the time to be pondering what kind of drink I want. Interesting. They're selling special court-themed food products here. Many of them seem sort of troublesome and suspicious. Objection, I suppose. Ham sandwich, Swiss rolls. I don't see anything odd. And you are?
Who, me?
Hey, pal.
It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs.
Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a district prosecutor.
A prosecutor? I've never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal.
I've told you my name. Now would you mind telling me yours?
Detective Dick Gumshoe. Just recently I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. More than a dream, it's what I was born to do. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first.
This detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident?
You know that I don't have to tell you anything, right?
I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know.
Wow, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge. So you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to defendant lobby number 2.
So you were on guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty?
Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze.
You're a detective and a measly gunshot scared you that much? Then again, I can hardly claim not to know... I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range.
Then the bat came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there, dead.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Interesting. Other than the gunshot, he didn't hear a single sound of commotion. You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not?
You got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective.
So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge, right? If you so desire to see one, I just might be able to make your day.
You don't have to go through the trouble, pal, because a real man has a police badge. And someday, I'm gonna become an ace detective, just like Detective Bad. Did I say something wrong, pal?
Forget it, detective. Mercurial news. So, you're guarding the door to lobby number 2 at the time of the crime, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And I'll have you know, not even a single ant got by me.
Really? Are you sure that not even a single ant slipped in?
Well, I guess if we're talking about slipped in, then maybe a frog or something did.
It would appear that my point also completely slipped by you, detective. Do you have a minute? You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this. I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Mars Edgeworth. I was just taking Mr. Faraday's place in court. Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday substitute as the newbie, eh? I'll have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred von Kammer. Do not take me for some naive novice. Fool. Do not take me for some naive novice. So you're a student von Kammer? I should have. Those clothes are a dead giveaway. Stop right there. These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts. Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay?
I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort.
Just kidding, I was just goofing around. By the way, do you know who I am? My name is Callisto Yooo. And if you're telling the truth, then we were about to go head-to-head in court. But of course, I've heard much about you, Miss Yooo. But of course, I have heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare.
Did I say something funny?
Okay. I'd like you to update me on the situation. I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there? If that's the case, then why are you here?
What's so funny?
It's just that the way you speak is so tactless. The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. Not like I could go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened. But that's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question. It's fine, don't worry about it. It is a shame that we will not be able to face each other. It was to be my first trial, too. Oh, was that a declaration of war? How nice it is to be young and carefree. And what a nice, squeaky clean badge you've got yourself there. I'm jealous. I'm sure its gleam will dull over time with experience. You're saying your reputation will also tarnish over time with it?
That's not what I meant.
Well, you just can't avoid some things in life. I'll never allow my badge or my reputation to become tarnished. Alright. Let's talk to the big bad detective. Excuse me, but who are you? Detective Tyrell Baird. Homicide. I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me? Faraday requested for me to testify on the trial. Plain and simple. Mr. Faraday requested you be here. I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid.
Kid?
I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. can't bite down here. I have a right to know. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid? Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? It's just a mirror. How dare he trick me like that? Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, Mr. Macrell, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. Was there anyone else who went in the defendant lobby number 2? Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe. He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? Maybe. Such impetus. This guy's really testing my patience. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court? Homicides are my only gig. The Altagrasso case is also one of my sons. So you're called upon to comment on the Altagrasso's characteristics in order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Altagrasso or not? Well, looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son. Son? I'm not your son, Pops. Okay then. Miss Yooo, there's someone here who wishes to see you. Who is it? A Cadopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Cochin. What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yoo's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. The Manny Cochin... Is he supposed to be dead? Or at least, Oh, found not guilty, yeah, but then he was killed, right? He was killed by Macrell. Wasn't he? Think so. I'll be right there.
It is nice to see you again, Miss Yooo.
Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again.
No. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat?
Fine, let's go. Here comes Manfred moonwalking.
Bad! Von Karma! Von Karma? It's been a long time.
I knew you would show up. Usually do with the Altagrasso is involved, and I see this case no exception.
Do you know Detective Bad, sir?
Yes, it's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on.
It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective.
So like I don't know that. Moving on, so bad. The man I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG8 incident?
So I was right.
That's what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. Can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile. I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes.
Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed.
Very well. Back on topic. I'm Basic Edgeworth in charge of the investigations here.
Objection!
Papa, how can you place him in charge?
Francesca, what are you doing here?
I'm here for summer vacation, what else?
Francesca von Karma. So she's here on vacation from Germany. She's the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his who's also junior to me.
You're the one who's junior to me. Don't you forget it.
You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you?
Ha. If you're able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never.
Why does she always have to be this competitive?
Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning me as Edgeworth to cover the case?
Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I am 100% confident that I can do a better job than him.
That's just like Francesca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them.
Bad.
Yeah.
These two will be conducting the investigation.
What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene?
This is a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills.
A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in.
I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Pat. And I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Francesca, I leave this case to the two of you.
Understood, sir.
Yes, Papa.
I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me!
Hold up, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this.
Miles Edgeworth.
It's been quite some time, Francesca.
This would be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the uncommon name.
Would it kill you to at least say hello?
Long time no see.
Very good.
Just because you became prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud.
She hasn't changed a bit.
Miles Edgeworth, as I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the uncommon name.
For crying out loud, I've been reduced to a babysitter. Looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him, he never fails. Now, I'd appreciate it if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad. You're better off checking things out on your own. Very well. Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. September 10th, 4:15 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. It's the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously.
Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking.
What are you talking about?
I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the uncommon name.
A competition?
The person that figures out the truth first wins.
So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name.
Exactly. I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things come from your foolish mouth.
Fine, whatever makes you happy.
Can I take that as you accepting my challenge?
Once again, whatever makes you happy.
Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am.
Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. You kids over here. What?
Sorry.
You kids over there. Hold it. Kid?
Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid.
I said kids, kid.
How dare you call me a kid as well?
I'll do what I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy. You gotta watch over these two. Yes, sir. That's the bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay?
You better not get in no way, Scuffy. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do. Hey, the new prosecutor boy. Let's get your investigation started right away, alright? What? Let's get your investigation started already, alright?
Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child.
Alright, it's time to get investigating. Get a move on, prosecutor boy.
My name is Miles Edgeworth. If you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time,
it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary.
What? What would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was?
That's up to you now. That's up to you now, isn't it?
Really? Sounds good, pal.
He's so naive. Alright. So even though we got Gumshoe babysitting us, Detective Bad is still lurking in the distance, doing his own thing. Alright, here we go. Let the investigation begin. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you?
What is it?
It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons?
The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well.
Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then, why does Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it.
Ah, maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid.
Is he going to treat me like a child forever?
Looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this.
Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence, so as to protect the honor of the Von Karma name. The window is opened, and... there's a fresh flowery scent in the air.
The flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly.
Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change?
Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the third floor.
Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows?
Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right?
They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice.
Whoa!
What is it, Detective Gumshoe?
My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal.
Perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one.
Ooh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge. What? Way too noisy. You're also noisy one, Scruffy.
Don't touch it! You'll get your fingerprints all over it.
But I didn't touch it.
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work.
Foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. The TV has been left on.
Why are you looking at me like that? It wasn't me. I didn't touch anything.
Gumshoe, you don't know what will happen to you if you touch something again. Right?
I won't touch anything. I won't even go anywhere near the TV, sir. And you, get back to your investigation, alright?
I was planning to do so anyway.
There's some stuff in the bag, pal.
I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. Probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him.
This is the evidence? I better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it.
You just not pay attention to anything you do. There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance.
Yeah, the tables are neat and tidy. Maybe there was super quiet in their scuffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know.
Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off?
This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Detective Ballard, do you have any thoughts on the case?
Faraday and Will. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right.
And what would they be?
Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy?
Now I've been downgraded to just boy? Ah, I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles, and as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me. As you wish. Yeah, pal? So, Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah, what is it, boy? For all the people to call me that, this detective is by far the least qualified.
I wanted to ask you about how the investigation is proceeding.
See for yourself, pal. Do I do a great... Oh. See for yourself, pal. Do I do a great detective battle or what?
Is this man not a professional born in his body? Very well then. I will inspect the victim's bodies myself.
This is my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be for my first case as a detective? But you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future.
As a suspect, detective?
Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defender's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. But you didn't know that I like to drink tea? Wow, this room really is decked out. And me spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all.
I'm beginning to suspect that leaving the detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right, this room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call.
I'm so excited, pal. This is my first real crime scene. Let's get investigating.
Detective Gumshoe, I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner.
What do you know about running an investigation, little boy prosecutor?
I know that at the very least I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here.
Why, you don't know any more than me, pal. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and out of the way.
Ironic coming from the guy that's been a step behind me in the entire case. Alright, so with that. Looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rill. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However,
using logic, the only logical conclusion is... Aha!
What was that outburst for?
My detective instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Well that fell first, see?
You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright, Why are there plastic bags scattered all around?
Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal.
I know that much, detective.
You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men?
Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand.
So he shot Mr. Rill, then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun.
I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun?
Sounds like rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one.
I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hand.
It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Mr. Faraday, how ironic it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse.
Yeah, why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this has happened while I was on watch, pal.
Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes?
Yeah.
Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder.
Right, I'm on it, pal.
First, he killed a Cadopian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself.
This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know.
Oh, what makes you say that?
Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two.
Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Deadman.
Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something.
Detective's intuition.
Yep. You know about it? It's a special feeling that all
We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation.
Looks like Mr. Rell died with the knife in his hand.
There's some blood stuck on it.
Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yup, no doubt about it.
Mr. Faraday carrying this on his person. Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot down some notes about it. Is that it? Oh.
His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be.
If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain.
An ink stain?
Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen.
A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you're just making it up, pal.
Mr. Rowe's cause of death was from being shot, correct?
That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down.
Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth.
Are you sure they were trying to hide something?
Can't confirm Mr. Rowe's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bang, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible.
What's this? You're not able to form a series of them the way they are?
I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose we do have a point.
Well, hurry up and get on with it.
Labby. Oh. Labby? Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective. So don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you?
Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Gumshoe, did I get emotionally involved? Remember, you're a detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Shot in the chest.
There's some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
A round grows very hot as it discharges from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when the shot is fired from point-blank range. There you go, Mr. Rill must have been shot from at least a yard or two away.
You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal.
Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell is holding.
Youch!
What's wrong, detective?
My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed.
Just keep your mind on the case, alright? Looks like he's holding something there, but... maybe not. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand.
That's the one Mr. Well got blown away by, right?
Labby, your answer? Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match that gun.
Oh, ballistic markings are the
Are the figurative fingerprints a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from.
Yeah, that's it. Of course, I already knew all about that, pal.
Maybe you'd be better off going back to the academy.
Come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will you?
So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Rao.
Apparently. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see?
I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rao is holding. Labby? Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. Make it quick. By the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rao is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen.
Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me you should always write your name on everything you owe.
Yeah, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgettable individual. Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case.
What a crazy way to go.
Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Alright.
Pen, ink.
That splash on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen.
Ooh, let's ask the lab guy.
Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that. Even if it was just one time. Even if it was just one time in my life.
Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand. I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well.
Okay, if you say so, pal.
Looks like it has a quality nib. There's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. And yet, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there?
Another reason?
I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow.
Eek, please get that blood away from me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag?
Hold on, let me ask the lab guy.
Alright, he's at it.
Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either.
It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence.
Okay, if you say so. I'll leave it in your hands, pal. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility.
No way, pal. Really?
I suppose I'll just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Okay. Yeah. I guess, yeah, because he's left-handed. Is this supposed to mark any evidence I hold? Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction halting this crime scene. Okay, a little pet peeve here, but you know, being a left-handed person myself, honestly, okay, maybe if I was like premeditating a murder, maybe I would use my left hand, just to make sure that I don't, you know, mess it up. But if I'm in a, you know, life-threatening situation, and I had only a couple of seconds to defend myself, I would use either hand to shoot the gun. So, you know, I guess usually left-handed people use their left hand to shoot guns, but not always. It's not guaranteed, but anyway, it's just a little pet peeve. Not a big deal.
Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange.
But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died.
Someone else?
Plastic bag is carried on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. There you have it. Case closed. Excuse me. Just do this. Alright. September 10th, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Here is the autopsy report. It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. Looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case. Are you sure you know everything? Of course. The incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It is all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? Huh. Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my arguments, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found... Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Ralph survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Ralph. And Mr. Ralph, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Ralph survived for a short time.
Hold it!
Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously? I have the medical report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see? It's been documented clear as day. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Ralph.
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Ralph before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. So that's all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Ralph before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I say.
And Mr. Rel, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him.
Hold it!
So you believe that the dying Mr. Rel stole the knife from Mr. Faraday?
Mr. Rel became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rel was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to the struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that is perfect?
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. So if you could append that statement to your testimony.
Fine. They struggled and Mr. Rel used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
About this statement,
Mr. Rel used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do.
how does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room?
Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room was scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you?
No, that will be fine.
There are other facts to this case.
Hold it!
Claiming speculation as fact already, don't you feel that the evidence is a bit lacking?
You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around this room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Rel. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, making a counterattack impossible. Furthermore, the room is a total mess from their fight. I dare say that there's more evidence here than you could whip at.
Looks like she's becoming more and more confident. And, looking at this place, she might have a right to be. After all, everything here seems to support her theory.
It looks like you're starting to see my point. I have as good as won our little competition.
There's something strange about Francesca's theory. I should compare her claim with the data I've gathered thus far. I just know there's a contradiction somewhere. This blood is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found. Which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? Seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using a very nice fountain pen.
That's the total opposite of me. I don't get these things at all.
Well, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine.
Really? You think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth tempting.
That wasn't exactly a compliment, Detective. This looks like a quality nib.
Hey, let me taste it out, pal. Ooh, this is really... I got ink all on my hand.
Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with the evidence like that again. Okay, is that it? I guess. Okay, that's true. According to Gumshoe, there was no signs of a struggle, so
Maybe all these plastic bags were tossed around after the murder happened.
okay, let's try it out.
Objection!
There we go.
If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Huh. You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Well get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Well saw a chance and took it out at some point. So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Well took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Well after being stabbed? Isn't there something strange in Francesca's statement just now? Sure. Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Well after being stabbed. Because he died instantaneously?
Take that!
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. Meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. Oh, you got me. But of course. If the report is correct, then there's only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Well attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Well. Therefore, Mr. Well must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francesca. I just want to explain it to you as simply as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francesca, you've still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly. And the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. Okay, so Rel stabbed Faraday, then someone else came in long after the stabbing happened and shot Rel. That's what happened. There's a third party here. The contradiction here in this crime scene is he ordered the bodies found? Okay, let's say order of events first. There is a contradiction in the order you say the crime took place in.
Objection!
Oh, in that case, why don't you prove the contradiction already? Mas Edwards, remember that we von Karmas must strive to be perfect in every way. And that kind of half-baked answer can hardly be called perfect, now can it? Maybe I should have given a more detailed explanation. Let's see. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. And the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in the scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is... Let me get this straight. What you're arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No, not so fast, Mazajves. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clear now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong.
Sure. Okay, well, we know that she's wrong, so shouldn't be that hard to prove, right? It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rowell's. Really? The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest as they fell in the opposite order. That's weak, Francesca, come on. I just know that Francesca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. Okay. How do we prove that they both didn't die at the same time? It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rowell's.
Hold it!
About that. Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to sing. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools.
That wasn't my intent.
I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rowell. Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you can hold on for a minute?
Francesca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours.
Oh, I'll hold on to it, alright. As I whip you. Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue, if you don't mind. The two bodies fell into a pile.
Hold it!
The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that to be just a bit strange? Not at all?
I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart.
Massage Vest. Once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time.
Hold it!
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday has the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rowell while holding Buzz a knife and revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fires a gun, Mr. Rowell grabs the knife as he was falling and stabs Mr. Faraday. Sorry. Oh, I've been shot! That is how Mr. Rowell wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got! Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point to that, but as you please. That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range. There we go.
Hold it!
You're saying that they attacked each other at the same time from close range?
Exactly. Mr. Faraday pointed the gun at Mr. Rowell's chest and pulled the trigger. Mr. Rowell then took the knife from Mr. Faraday and stabbed him before he fell unconscious. The dead Mr. Faraday instantly fell on top of Mr. Rowell from the stabbing, pinning Mr. Rowell under him where he died shortly thereafter. And that's how they ended up on top of each other with no contradictions to be seen. You know, as crazy as the story sounds, if we were in court right now, the judge would totally believe that. He'd be like,
Oh, that makes sense, yes.
it really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
Hold it!
Do you really believe that they fell in the exact opposite order in which they attacked? Miles Edgeworth. You're not listening to a word that I'm saying. They both attacked each other at the same time and Mr. Rowell fell first by chance, leaving Mr. Faraday to just happen to fall on top of him. Then Mr. Rowell died shortly thereafter, pinned underneath Mr. Faraday. That's how it happened.
The two men attacked each other with Mr. Rowell randomly falling down first. The fact that the order that they attacked each other in varies from the order they fell in doesn't cause a problem for me. However, there's definitely one certain aspect that I'm having trouble swallowing.
Objection!
Yeah. So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes,
The firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rell's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rell and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The 2 bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. With there being no chance that Mr. Rell moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation.
The completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. That's right. Then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who?
The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be... Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can be only one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit.
Mars Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing.
Evidence, correct?
Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime?
Of course. If the third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. Prove that this has all been a setup made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that is not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there is a third person involved?
Take that!
The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. Oh, okay. These 2 items point to the presence of a third person.
How so?
Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony?
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single beat of a struggle.
If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground. Meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment. There is a high probability of blood spatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with the plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the 2, they were able to conceal their presence. Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection!
What?
What the heck is up with you, pal? Mr. Band, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. What?
What's the meaning of this?
Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare.
That detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie.
Monsieur, I ask that you please explain that last statement.
I'll let His Honor explain it himself.
I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway.
What? See, Mr. Van? So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday?
No! Of course not, sir! It appears that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective. Which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. Looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single beat of a struggle.
Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you are now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth or so help me.
I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not?
Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy.
All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all. Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something.
What's that?
What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in that hallway at any time, correct?
Huh? Oh, of course not, pal.
You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me?
Watch your mouth, pal. You can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence.
I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point.
That's worse. How could he be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace.
Maybe I should ask about something else. What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time?
Look, pal, like I said, I was there the whole time, okay?
But there is testimony against you that...
What's that, Wes? Why are you wasting our time with a completely useless question? The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing a crime. But anyone who says otherwise is a fool.
Maybe I should ask about something else. What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime.
Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Faraday or anything?
No, sir, not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir.
Is that a fact?
Objection!
You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe?
I'm telling you, I am not lying.
The more natural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know. If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation. You're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit!" A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation? You totally misunderstand me, pal.
No matter how mad I get, I could never hold a grudge.
Quiet. We can't trust anything you say.
So, there's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. But there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Miss Yu's perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all. It was about a week ago.
Hold it!
A week ago? Then you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances? No way! I only met him in person today. And how did you know about Detective Gumshoe? Oh, I've seen him around before. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct.
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday was upset. Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But here he was, totally beat red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face is making now, right?
I'm completely injured, I tell you.
Oh man.
It was quite the scene with the detective. He stood there, super pale, as Mrs. Verde yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit."
Hold it!
You just stood there watching this unfold in front of you. Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable too. That's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him. No way! I thought it was because I had something stuck on my face! What you do? What if I got stuck on my face? Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. And those ridiculous eyebrows. Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun. Miss Yooo, if you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now. Sure, why not? A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge.
Hold it!
To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that. I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice? Speaking of cutting my salary, did you try to do that to me earlier too? I suppose I did. It's unnatural to cut a Versus detective's salary down to their actual Vers. My father can even fire anyone, new or old, with the snap of his fingers. You think that maybe that's enough reason for detectives to hate you people? Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Ben, don't tell me Mr. Volkama cut your salary earlier. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
Hold it!
You call your explanation perfect? Ha! It's not to your liking. Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standard. Is there something you want me to clarify in that case? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me. So I haven't explicitly established how Mr. Faraday was killed.
Objection!
Going senile already, Miles. Mr. Faraday was stabbed to death with a knife. No! Not that! What I meant to ask was, how were the two men killed when they were in a guarded room?
We're going to find that out very soon from Gumshoe at his interrogation, boy.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Poor baby. Tell you what, I'll let you have another go. How's that? Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me. Okay. I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rell? His motive for killing Rell, like I would know. Huh. If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, then I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves? Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea. What? But that's impossible. She must know something. Wait. Please don't glare at me like that. It makes me laugh. Didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away. Well, anyway. We'll see it. As long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway. Oh, would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation. Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight. Is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma? My advice, I demand that you shut this rude woman up. I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second. Ahem. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Mr. Rao, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other.
No, that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. Yeah. Found not guilty. The victim was Miss Yooo. That's it. That's pretty much it. The second KG8 incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member. And the two men who both wound up as suspects in this case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them? You're looking directly at them. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mrs. Faraday and Mr. Rao.
Hold it!
So there's no one else who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao? I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in this courthouse today. He's lying through her teeth. We just saw someone like that here earlier. Besides, you don't need to prove that the killer had a grudge against both men. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men.
Hold it!
Someone with a grudge against one of the men. In that case, aren't there plenty of other people who fit the bill? Sure, after all, who doesn't garner scorn from another simply by being alive? But the only one who held a grudge and acted upon it by killing was Detective Gumshoe. Furthermore, Mr. Rao, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder.
Hold it!
So you're saying that he was basically silenced? Aren't you glad you managed to avoid the same fate, Your Honor? Why, if you had been the one to witness the blood-covered detective...
What? Detective Gumshoe? You would kill even me?
What? I could never do something as terrible as that, Your Honor.
There's no need for even a second of deliberation. I will hand down my verdict here.
Your Honor, take a look around. We are not in court right now. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd stay here with us in reality.
Please forgive me. I know not what I do.
And you, sir, Mr. Yooo, hurry up and continue with your testimony. If you fail to do so, I will whip you into shape. That's nice. Sounds kind of like fun, actually. Anyway, Detective Gumshoe had to erase the witness, Mr. Rao. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other.
Hold it!
I didn't do it, pal.
No hard feelings, but I don't think we can take the word of a criminal seriously. Whimper.
But I can't even begin to think up ways to set up a crime scene.
I suppose you do lack the necessary tactical mind required to do such a thing. Whimper. Why do you have to kick a man when he's down, pal? You shouldn't pull yourself down, detective. You're a big boy. I bet you thought it up all by yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I worked real hard at it, too.
I think this proves one thing about the detective. He has the mental acuity of a whale. I have to admit, her explanation makes sense. However, there is also something that she overlooked in her testimony. I should present that piece of evidence and see if I can make her see the truth.
Objection!
Miss Yooo, I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up? What do you mean? We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was the suspect in the original KG8 incident, and a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Manikochu. That's right. The very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Rao, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men? Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
You covered for me, pal?
Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold.
Why didn't do it?
You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, I will not be very forgiving should my... You want to investigate Cochin? You just be wasting your time. And why is that? Cochin was up in the viewing gallery, watching the trial. Or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived.
Since the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe.
I suppose so.
No way! Come on, Detective Bad! You've got to believe me, sir! I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir! I never took a single step into the schoolroom, sir!
Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway?
No. There was no one else, sir.
And why should I believe you didn't do it?
That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt.
I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would at the very least offer up a spaced out while on duty or the like. Come on, Gumshoe. Time for your interrogation.
Detective Bad. Mas Edgeves, I will go on ahead and report this to Papa.
That, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Ho, ho, ho. See you.
Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, eh?
Before you do, monsieur, there is something I'd like to speak with you about.
What is it?
So, what did you want to ask me about? The current case of the murdered Kidopian Embassy South member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG8 incident.
Only among you law enforcement types.
And what about it? I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG8 incident. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers. No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG8 incident. I'd appreciate it if you stop with the false accusations. Bases outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know? I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on, you know?
Think you can stop making that ultra serious face in front of me?
Please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG8 incident she is. Monsieur, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG8 incident. That follows your proof. Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG8 incident? Your connection to the KG8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will know that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case?
Sorry, but we're not related. Woof. Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but...
Miss Yooo, I ask that you please tell me the truth. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Amano group was my sister, CCU, as I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Cochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently, a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence. Then the evidence had been tampered with? Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of his secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in the league. They were in league with each other all along. How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation? I don't really know.
which is why I wanted to become their lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KG8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. You mean, you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Why did Mr. Koshin want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. Looks like he couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh boy, stop with the scary face already. I'm fine, really. I gave him a good slap across the face. The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy. Ahem. But it's just as Mr. Bat said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around and people in the gallery claimed that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, eh?
That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life.
Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we?
Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry.
I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well, you'll see. Look at you with your game face on, ready to go.
I'm making no such face.
You know, laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth. Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time?
I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter.
There you go, making that face again. Oh well, I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up.
Are you gonna go kill Gumshoe too?
KG8 incident in this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus, that Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. To be continued. Whew, alright. There we go. Alright, well, we're not gonna make the same mistakes as we did last time and try to do both 2 segments on the same day. So, yeah, fortunately, we're gonna call it quits here. So, again, thank you all for watching, and until the next time. And